ahead and happening today, a panel of outside advisors to the FDA is set to meet and expected to recommend to the FDA whether more Americans should get a third shot to help protect against COVID.
And this is a highly contentious debate in the medical community, and it comes as nationwide COVID cases are dropping slightly in many states, but in some places, hospitals are preparing to ration care. So at this hour, the stage is set for a controversial decision. Pfizer says their data shows booster shots are needed 6 months after the second dose as protection from infection begins to wane. But some doctors say there's just not enough evidence to support most Americans getting the boosters, and that it may only be necessary for older Americans and those who are immunocompromised. So the question this morning is, what will this FDA panel decide to recommend?
The Israeli data that I've seen that was released overnight does support the idea of boosting for the over 60s. It's much more of a grey area for younger people, particularly under 50s. And that's what the debate is going to center around. Does the data justify the decision?
So here's a look at the timeline. The FDA's Independent Advisory Committee will review and discuss the latest data, then decide whether to approve the booster shot for all Americans 12 and older or not. And then the CDC will decide specifically who would get it. The Biden administration was aiming for Monday to be the target date for booster shots to be available. Of course, we'll let you know just as soon as that panel makes its decision and what it decides.
And now let's take a look at those numbers. We've been talking about the cases rising across the state and the country, but there is a light at the end of that tunnel. In a new CDC report, the agency predicts new daily hospitalizations will go down in the next 4 weeks. So that's some good news for hospitals being stretched to their limits across the country. Here in Indiana, hospitals have had more than 2,500 COVID patients a day for about a week and a half. That's the area that's highlighted here in orange. Those patients make up a little more than 13% of all the people in Indiana hospitals.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is getting ready to host another vaccine clinic. It'll also be offering COVID testing and flu shots as well. It's going to start next Tuesday, September 21st. And will run 5 weeks through October 30th. Now keep in mind, it'll only be open Tuesdays through Saturdays. It'll happen in the IndyCar parking lot right across from Gate 2. You can pre-register, and we've got a link with this story on our website. You can find it at WTHR.com.
Between kids, dogs, spouses, life happens and we get it. The good news is it's not the end of the world if you lose your vaccine card. It's a medical record, so the information is kept in other places. The first thing to do, according to the CDC, contact your vaccine provider. IU Health, Kroger, CVS, wherever you got the shots. Walgreens and CVS both say you can access your information on their apps, and CVS said they'll print the record for you too. IU Health asks that you create a login where you can download the record. If you can't get through to the vaccine provider, the CDC said to contact your state health department's immunization information system. In Indiana, it's ourshot.in.gov. If your vaccine card is still safe and sound, the CDC said to snap a picture of the front and the back. If you have an iPhone, pop it in the hidden section. As for laminating the card, some experts say don't do that in case you get a booster shot down the road.